folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at Frontline No Komrades. It is a quick little take that card game for 2 to 8 players from Anvil 8 Games, the same people that brought us the miniature game Ethereum. Opposite ends of the spectrum, people. Don't know where this one came out of, but it looks like they're trying to diversify a little bit. So let's get down to the table, and I'll show you how it works. So in a game of Frontline No Komrades, each person is going to choose a character to represent them in the game, and that character comes with a special ability. For example, here Molly says that if Molly suffers a splash damage, any adjacent comrade suffers 1 hit point of damage. Boris the Butcher here says that the first time Boris is reduced to less than 1 hit point, move him to the first space in line with 1 hit point remaining. So there's a number of different things that they can do. They grab their character card. This is their special ability card, and this is their hit points card, which will be used to track when they lose hit points. They'll also be given a hand of 5 cards. These cards are a number of different things. They can be item cards, which have an endurance value, which can be used to pay for damage that the person is going to be taking. And some of those items have a special ability. For example, at the start of a turn, discard the compass from play and place the initiative card in front of any comrade. The initiative card is this guy right here, and it simply denotes who goes first in that round. There are also other kinds of cards called action cards. For example, this one says move your comrade forward 3 spaces. This one says weekend pass. Remove your comrade from the line at the end of the turn. Return him to the last space. Then there are event cards. This one's called Commissar Punch. It says move any other comrade to the first space. And then there's another action card here that says ignore any linear damage your comrade would suffer this turn. So these are the different kinds of cards that you'll have in your hand. And what you'll do is when you'll get your 5 cards, you will choose one of them and then pass them to the left. And the players will go through a draft of picking which cards they're going to have in their hand. And you continue picking a card and passing what's left until everybody has 5 cards left in their hand. And so after that draft is set, you're then ready to begin the round. Now, in a game of Frontline No Komrades, you are simply trying to be the last person standing. It is a player elimination game and a take that game where you're going to, well, the title pretty much says it. You're on the front line of a battle and you don't have any friends near you. Everybody is just trying to survive and get back home to their families or what have you. Now, the first thing you do in the turn is you draw an incoming card. Incoming cards have a number of different things on them. There are special kinds of incoming cards where they have special rules down here at the bottom, and they're denoted by that fist there. There are also splash damage incoming cards. Tells you where the target goes, and then it tells you how much damage is done to the different spaces. So for example, this one, the target card would be placed in the open area, and then whoever is in this at the end of the round in this space gets 4 damage, and whoever is adjacent to either on either side of the card gets 2 damage each. Then there are other kinds of special cards which are just very simple. It targets each odd space. So it would be 1, 3, and then the open space here. And any person in those spaces gets 1 point of damage. You also have linear damage, which is denoted by an arrow like so. You would put the target in the last space. So for example, that would be the last space right there. And whoever is in that space gets 2 damage. And then it travels from back to the front of the line. So if the last space happens to be an open space, then it would travel this way, and whoever it hits first would take the damage. Okay, so the first thing we do is we draw the incoming card, and this says stray round, where the target is placed. See below, frontmost, lowest hit point comrade picks the target comrade. So frontmost would be Katrina, and we all have the same number of hit points. So Katrina gets to pick. She'll say, all right then, Boris is going to be the target. So the target space is Boris. That will go right there just like that. And now at this point we would take cards from our hand, one card from our hand, and place it face down. Now, once everybody has played one of their cards face down, then starting with the person who has the initiative, they are going to reveal their card and resolve that thing. So relocate says move a target card one space backward or forward. So they can take this target card and either move it backward or forward. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and move it forward so that Molly is now the target, and that card is discarded. And then the second card is pulled over, and this is an item card. An item card is just simply played next to the person's ability card. And for example, this one here is body armor. Reduce damage by an amount up to the remaining durability. It loses 1 durability per damage reduced. So this has the ability to knock out 3 damage, making Yuri, basically he has 13 hit points right now. And then we continue with Molly. Molly plays a dodge. It says ignore any linear damage your comrade would suffer this turn. So that's a good thing because this is a linear kind of damage. So she played that card well. So she is actually not going to be taking the 1 point of damage that's necessary here. And Boris says advance 3, move your comrade 3 spaces forward. So we're moving forward this way, and in that fashion we would, since we're moving away from an open space, it simply switches spaces as he moves. All right, so it turns out that Molly did not have to play that avoid damage because she's not going to take the damage. But remember that there are event cards that can be played at any time during the course of this round that could affect whether or not somebody takes damage. At this point, the initiative marker would move over to Yuri, and everybody would draw a number of cards equal to the number of cards that they played, because they would need to bring their hand back up to 5, and then the new round begins. So a new incoming card is drawn. Sniper, it's a linear damage. Frontmost highest hit point comrade is the target, and so the frontmost is Boris, and everybody has equal number of damage, so he is the target. And now the sniper is going to deal 2 damage to this target spot right here. And now once everybody has played one of their cards face down, we resolve in initiative order. So Yuri here retreats 2. Now when you retreat toward a space, you shift for the first one. And since it's a retreat 2, now he's moving away from an open space, so he would actually replace like so. And now we go over to Molly. Molly says advance 1, move your comrade 1 space forward, so she's moving toward a open space, so she just shifts like that. Boris here simply plays a compass. The compass has 1 durability, but he also says at the start of the turn, discard the compass from play and place the initiative card in front of any comrade. So if you really want to go first, you can play this card and make that so. So that's an item card that goes there. And then Katrina is going to play her retreat 1, which says move your comrade 1 space backward. All right, so she's going to move toward the commissar, which is backward, and that's going to shift her and Molly this way. And I think we're going to play scatter. Scatter simply says that we're going to shuffle the character line cards face down and randomly reorder them in the character line, leave the last space open. All right, so the last space is this one right here, but what we do is take all of these guys and shuffle them face down. Okay, and now we're going to put these cards in. Oh, well, that didn't work out. Now did it, Boris? Okay, well, it was a shot in the dark, but there you have it. Well, Boris still takes the 2 damage, but one of them is sucked up by the compass and it goes away because it's destroyed. And then his other point will come off like so, moving him from 10 down to 9. New cards are drawn for everyone. The initiative marker comes over here to Molly, and the game continues that way until there is only one person left standing. So that is Frontline No Comrades, and this is a pretty interesting little game. Probably goes a little bit longer than it should at its higher player count of 8, but probably hits a sweet spot around 4 or 5, maybe 6. Where you are going to enjoy everything and there's not a whole lot of chaos going on, but the more players that you have, the more movement that's going to happen, the more event cards that can be played. So there's a lot of different things that can kind of throw that chaos balance, I guess you could say. That's almost an oxymoron, but can kind of throw that balance off of the amount of chaos that you're willing to accept in a game. With 4 or 5 players, I felt that was probably the cusp of my being able to take that much random chaos in the game, because your character is always going to be being moved by other characters. People can play event cards that will move the target or move other characters, which will then move you, and so it becomes very difficult to kind of navigate how you're going to protect your character and survive until the end of the game. But again, that is part of the fun of it, I guess, trying to weather that storm and come out on the other end unscathed, or at least not as scathed as everybody else. I thought that the incoming cards were all interesting in the different ways that they would damage people. I liked that. I know it sounds strange to say it that way, but I did enjoy how many different ways the incoming cards would distribute damage, which kind of made us play kind of a puzzle in trying to figure out where we were going to move our characters and how we were going to make sure that somebody else got that damage and not me. So that was interesting. The event cards were a pretty strong take that element, where you are making sure that other people get that damage and you don't, but they were also very tongue-in-cheek and rather humorous in the different ways that the titles of the event cards that were given and that type of thing. So that was all cool. I like the fact that it comes with no less than 10 separate characters that all have their own abilities, and they all have, some of them have even different numbers of hit points. So that's a cool thing as well. There's a lot of good in this package. I just think with the higher player counts, it's going to wear out its welcome more often than not. But with the lower player counts, probably within the 4, 5, and 6 range, that's probably where it hits its sweet spot. So if I personally probably won't ever play this more than 6 players, but that having been said, I think with 4, 5, or 6 players, it's a fun, enjoyable experience that also doesn't last too terribly long. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Frontline No Comrades 1 thumb up because I think it's worthy of you checking out, and I think that it will probably find a home in a lot of different tables. So go check out Frontline No Comrades. I keep wanting to say Commandos, but it's Comrades. Frontline No Comrades. We'll see you guys on the flip side.